Hello, everyone. We're back with Ken Dombrowski, executive life coach and master hypnotist. And our last video was about sigmas, and we started delving a little bit into the idea of betas. And I think we just need to give them kind of like the center stage right now. So do you want to just kind of go over what exactly it means to be a beta male or female?
Well, the way I look at it is going to be really different than what most online coaches and different people who call themselves some kind of authority. Is they look at betas as being weak, pathetic, losers, and that's just not, I don't see it like that at all, not even a little bit. I look at the betas are the backbone. They're the biggest majority of our society. So they're the people who are responsible for making sure everything keeps on going. They are going to be that's the people that are going to turn out 1,000 boxes a day at the factory every day for 30 years. That's the police officer that goes to work every day for 30 years policing our environment. That's the school teacher. There's everybody that keeps our system going and does their job, does it diligently and keeps it going. Those are betas. None of those people are weak, pathetic, or losers. These are people who are living solid lives. They're usually going to have a big friend group around them, usually even going to have a big family. The betas are going to be people who are going to have, multiple children, 4, 5, 6 kids in their family. And it's just because they're more about connection. They're not looking really necessary for great amounts of success, entrepreneurship. Those kinds of things tend to almost scare betas because it's just they're not in alignment with their values. Their values are, I want something steady, rock solid that I can count on. And you can't do that if you own a business. You can't count on it. You have to make it everything. Everything that happens has to come from you. So to be a beta is one of the greatest possible things because I've noticed betas are some of the happiest people because they're hardworking, because they play hard, because they have lots of friends and lots of family around them. They tend to be some of the happiest people. So what would be wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think there's a stigma around certain terms. So it's the thing where a beta sounds like it's weak, but that just really doesn't apply. Especially because we say it all the time, and I think it kind of applies in this context in a different way. But the person that's posting the most on social media and trying super, super hard to look happy is usually not very happy. And so beta, the person who's just staying consistent and keeping about themselves is very happy because there's nothing inside them that's you need more right now. You're not doing enough. And that's something that you'll find in someone like a sigma or an alpha. They're being told by their own brain that they're not matching their abilities. But betas, they appreciate a steady paycheck. They appreciate knowing what's expected of them when they go into work every single day. This doesn't mean they 100% love their jobs, 100% love every aspect of their job. They just like the comfortability of knowing what to expect from their lives. And that makes them happy, and that's totally fine. I think a larger majority of betas are probably more happy with themselves than the large majority of sigmas or alphas because not every sigma and alpha is going to do what they need to do to kind of fulfill that need within themselves. Mm-hmm. I would say it's kind of easier to fulfill being a beta, obviously, because the society is built for betas because they are the majority. But yeah, I think the other thing is they just probably think oh, I'm not a beta. I'm sure a lot of police officers would take offense to being called a beta, but it's not.
Yeah, it's true. It's because the information is bad. It's misinformation is out there. So when you another way I like to look at, being a beta, as we're describing, it's someone who's this is a certain personality type. Now, with any personality type, what's called archetypes, your archetypes of multiple archetypes of different personalities and character traits. If you're not in alignment with yourself, then you're going to tend to be unhappy. So what's something that's very difficult for me as a life coach is when I work with someone who has very clearly got a beta energy, a beta personality type and energy about them. However, they have these incredibly lofty dreams that they just don't really seem to have the spirit energy to really go after and get. You'd have to be more of an alpha or a sigma to go get. So trying to take that person and help them understand that they need to kind of more or less stay in their lane, and they'll be much happier there. Would you like to be a billionaire? Of course you would. Everybody would like to be a billionaire. Are you willing to do what it takes to be a billionaire? No. That's why so few billionaires in the world, because there are only a few people willing to do what it takes. The rest of us are like, we'll fantasize about it, but see, I think the same thing. A beta can be like, oh man, I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a tech giant. I want to have, and they come up with these really big, lofty ideas that they absolutely have no ability to fulfill.
Right.
And now you're talking about someone who's going to be very, very unhappy, if not even miserable, and in a depression, because they get online and some clown of a life coach says you can have, do, or be anything you want as long as you want it badly enough. So they're really trying and it's just not happening. So all those failures lead to a lot of depression.
Right.
Same thing can happen, like we had another video about Sigma. If you're a Sigma is one of the most misunderstood personality types. If you're misunderstood and you don't understand why you're a lone wolf and you don't fit into the crowds and you seem to be alone in everything you do, you're not lonely, but you're always alone, and you just don't seem to have that big friend group that you see other people having at work or whatever, that misunderstanding about who you are can lead to depression.
Right.
So they're trying to fit in with betas because, okay, I work amongst these people, so I want to be friends with them. I want to hang out with them, but I just don't fit. And it feels bad, feels awkward. So you see, not being in alignment with who you are is one of the worst things we can do to ourselves.
That was actually exactly what I was about to bring up, is just as much as like betas may want to like shoot for the stars, sigmas and alphas can want to try and fit in. But like your core being, what makes that up, kind of makes it impossible. So that's why, like, even in the last video, we said you can't switch between one or the other. You are one, but you can try and act like another, but that's what's going to cause a lot of issues in your life, emotional turmoil, things like that. Obviously, there's a bunch of outside factors that we aren't talking about because that would take 1,000 hours, which is like mental illnesses, early life traumas, medical illnesses. There's a lot of things that make it an exception. Also, we're not saying that only alphas are narcissists or anything like that. Every kind of person has the ability to be a narcissist too. So it's not saying that like you're just in this tiny box. It's just saying that kind of like your goals and aspirations need to line up with what your being is capable of. Like, anyone's capable of being a narcissist, but not everyone's capable of being a millionaire and sustaining it. So that's kind of the point here. It's not like a definitive, you suck, you're in this box, you're not this, you're not that. It's very much this is your playing field, let's adjust accordingly.
Again, everything you said, you always say things so in a way that I wouldn't say it, but it still fits perfectly. So that was a great way to characterize all that.
I spend the entire time you're talking figuring out how to wrap it up because I'm like, that made sense, but I have this to say.
There you go. Well, right on. All right. Well, I think that's about all I have to say about betas. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, honestly, the only thing I would say is go watch our video about sigmas because we started the conversation about betas there and kind of just ended it here. So there's a little bit more information in that video and maybe help you understand if you are a sigma versus a beta. We even discuss of like if someone might be wrong about that, but we have enough self-awareness to kind of be able to put ourselves in the right box. So yeah, just do your research, either watch other videos, feel free to look at our website, contact us directly. This is the stuff that we help people with all day long. So feel free to check out those resources. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, just to kind of finish it up, be proud of whatever it is that you are. Be in alignment with who you are. Find out what is your personality type, what is your archetype. And whatever that is, be proud of it, embrace it, and then you can always expand on it. So a beta can expand on it, an alpha can expand on it. Whatever it is that you are, you can always expand on it. Of course, again, I kind of like to say stay in your lane, but you can expand that lane.
Right. I think embracing what you're capable of and what you're made up of will make you a lot happier than trying to push a box that can't be broken out of. So
there you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.